Hey guys, I'm back with what might be the last video about this character. It's the same one from yesterday. It is Original Sin Poison Pathfinder using spells. I swapped out Spark and Comet for Flameblast and Solar Orb. These are just way better in every single way possible. Spark doesn't hit hard enough, and Comet's cast time is unusable. It's not fun at all. So after I uploaded yesterday's video, I tested every single gem, every caster gem. I tested everything, all sorts of different combinations of gems, links, you name it, I tried it. It cost a lot of money, and I spent most of my night and morning now farming gold so I could test other stuff too. And that led me to this, the Flameblast Solar Orb combo. I think I have it dialed in. It feels pretty good. Level 19 Flameblast with 20 quality for cast speed. And then here are the gems in here. I'll just go over it real quick for you. The cast speed here is nice. It's quality of life, because so you can cast Flameblast in two ways. On yourself like this, or on the orb like that. And when you cast it on the orb, you'll see here you get a lot more cast speed. You see it here. You get 30% more cast speed when targeting the orb, so it makes a big difference. Solar Orb, I've got it quality for the pulse duration, or pulse speed, and that's because I'm using it to kind of apply poison. It doesn't do the most damage, but it's something. It just ups the stacks, which is nice. The blind on hit is super impactful, along with the AoE. So when I pop it down, it hits a lot of stuff, blinds it, and then that helps my evasion do just a little bit better. The other thing I changed is I moved Expanse into my Despair Curse, which increases the AoE, and I popped it out of the Plague Bearer. So now I'll be Flame Blasting, and when I do, pretty much one of these charges up the Plague Nova immediately, so it just helps the clear speed. I put Energy Barrier in there, which isn't super significant, but it's a little something. And yeah, let me change one thing. I was testing something with Poison Concoction, but this is what I normally do, the Running Assault, so it just helps out a lot for mobility and moving around, casting that Flame Blast. So what I've got here is a Tier 15 Abyss map. I already opened it. It's got a boss, and I think it's corrupted, and I don't know, maybe Delirium or something. I don't know. I forget exactly what's on here, but I know there's a boss. And that's what I wanted to show you guys, is the boss damage of this new character. Well, not new character, but the boss damage of Flame Blast compared to yesterday's Comet. It's significant, I think. Certainly makes the character feel better all around. I'm still dying quite a bit on this guy, as you can tell by the lack of XP. But the damage is starting to feel good. Gotta love it. Again, this is probably the last video I do with this character. I have something cooking that is going to smack way harder than this, but it's a completely different setup. So I'm not really going to be able to go back to this and test it. And it's also going to be very expensive. It's still going to be poison based. Man, that's always fun. So you don't even need to do the Solar Orb as often as I am. You can just Flame Blast like this, and then Plague Nova right after, and you don't even have to go to 10 stacks. You get the Flame Blast up pretty quick. The one downside to this character that I haven't really been able to solve for yet is breaches. On my Atlas skill tree here, I've got breach maxed out, and it's hard for this character. I don't clear the screen like I used to with the poison concoction corpse wave booth situation. But you can see I'm absolutely melting rares for now, in part due to the poison proliferation. What happened there is my strongest poison proliferated, and then I put another on with the Flameblast, and it completely melted. So the damage is good. The clear speed's actually not bad. I'm just playing really slow because I'm talking. See if I can. Yeah, here we go. Let's get some boss action happening. Show you guys what's up. Put that down. Let the mana regen. We're gonna curse into an Eye of Winter. Dodge roll straight into that.
Spread forth.
You can see the damage is kind of cooking though, compared to yesterday anyways. And then we still have the Power Siphon Call, which I'll showcase here just for the sake of it. Oh, he's not in range. Alright, well, you can see the damage is not at all bad. Let's see what the map looks like here. +2 to monster level area, and I have the same stuff as yesterday, so my bosses are still, you know, +1 in a few ways here. But yeah, just wanted to show it off. I think this is probably the final stage. I tested quite a bit, and this is the best I can come up with without investing a lot more into it. And I'm just not at the point where I want to do that. It's not really worth investing into, like, you know, expensive multiple divine jewels and stuff like that. But the damage could certainly still go up. And I think maybe with investment there would be some better ways to clear, or better abilities to use to improve clear speed. But for the most part, I think this is really solid. I really do. I mean, that boss fight was a bit of a pushover. The energy shield situation feels kind of lackluster. I mean, going CI on a ranger is obviously going to be a struggle 10 times out of 10, but still going to do it. The build I want to do next is actually going to be with the original sin, and it's going to be CI, and it's going to be probably a lot stronger. I hope it is anyways, or else I'll have wasted quite a bit of money. But in any case, it's going to be fun. It's going to be unique. As I mentioned yesterday, I like doing unique stuff. I really don't like participating in the meta. The exception might be at the start of a league. I'll typically run something that I know is strong and can farm currency early. Because, well, if you've played PoE for a while, you'll understand that investing early and investing often is typically the best way to make divines. And that's what I did this time around. So I'm kind of just letting my investments cook, but I think with the weekend coming up, prices will go down. I mean, they have been going down every weekend, which is, sorry, what I mean to say is the value of exalts is going down, which actually makes my investment rise. So I don't want to talk too much about what it is, because this is something that I'm going to keep doing, but I think a lot of people probably already know. Yeah, investing early, investing often, it's the way to go. So yeah, that's the map. Tier 15 +2 to the area level as well. That's the boss. I'll hover over the gear again, and just keep in mind the gear is not special. Everything was purchased for between 1 and maybe 25 exalts. Like the wand, I think, was on the more expensive end of things, but nothing was worth investing in. So I just wanted to, like, proof of concept this first. So here's the wand. It doesn't have to be with a power siphon skill. That's just what I got. It actually comes in handy sometimes, but if you wanted to, you can replace either of these bursting plagues or deadly poison with calling, and that actually might be better in any case, because then you could get like mana back on call, which would be sweet for like sustain. Yeah, here's the helmet. I don't need the life. Obviously, it's like garbage resistance, like three totally dead mods. So it's just you can just see stuff is pretty cheap. Actually, the icebreaker, I think that took probably the most exalts to anoint, but that's pretty important. You gain max ES as freeze threshold, so you're not just getting frozen when you get looked at by a frost ability. But the amulet's pretty juiced. Yeah, not bad at all. The stats, the all attributes, is super helpful for meeting requirements for skills. Little shield here, I think this was like 10 or 15x, nothing special. Spell damage, chaos, cast speed, and like you can get plus spells on this, but I didn't. Just straight up didn't. Original Sin, 2 divs. This is the most expensive piece. I got it because I realized that this thing is really powerful, and it was only 2 divs, so I'll for sure take that deal and build around it. Boots, nothing special. Actually, they're decent. 30 MS with decent evasion, mana, rarity, fire. I don't get shocked a whole lot, but if I did, you know, that's there. Belt, this is leftover from my poison concoction build. Same with the chest piece. Just high res, essentially. I mean, high evasion, high ES. Bought this ring to cap cold res because it's huge. Mana on kill is not negligible. Some resist gloves just to cap out. Running juiced up life flask, which regens my energy shield thanks to Eternal Youth. And then I'm running a rarity charm, which puts me up at like 60, 70 rarity-ish total based on the boots and the helmet. And the mana flask here, just a little bit of charge sustain on the off chance I run out of mana, which is super easy. As you can see, I mean, just everything costs so much, it's a struggle. I won't have that problem with the next character, but for this one, yeah, it's a struggle. And I'll just fire over the links real quick. This is mostly for me, in case I have to look back at the video and rebuild it, or just see what I did. Flameblast, Control Destruction, Extraction. I'm not going to read it all, actually. You can just look at it. Pause if you need to. Again, I don't think this is the best for Solar Orb. You might want to run like Calling Strike, and the whatever gem gives you like mana, like 12% mana when you call something. That might be good. With how often this pulses, I feel like you might get a calling off. Don't really know because the actual hit damage isn't super crazy, so it might not even work. Despair, the mana drainer 10,000. Gotta run less cost on here, or else you're just all day. You can't have that on a boss fight. You need to be able to nuke. You need to do the combo. Like, you need to Eye of Winter and Despair back to back to reduce Chaos Res here, and then apply Wither right here. The skill duration here increases the time Withered is on the target, which is nice. Unleash to fire multiple at a time, increase the amount of projectiles hitting, which instantly stacks your Withered up. Prod speed, just, I don't know, it feels better. Gets to the target faster, applies everything quicker, in my opinion. Grim Feast, everything everybody's seen already, just gives you a ton of ES and sustain through the actual map. So if you're killing things at a decent rate, like you can get away with having low ES like I do. Ghost Dance, pretty crazy actually. I have a ton of evasion, and so I get a lot of energy shield in return when I do get hit, which isn't often. With the amount of evasion I have, especially after a dodge, plus the blind from the solar orb, if it's up, anyways, sometimes it's not. Yeah, it makes it pretty hard for me to get hit, and you'll probably see evidence of that in the map you've just watched. Yeah, last but not least, Plague Bearer with +1. This scales incredibly well with gem levels. I wish I could get a little higher, I just can't afford to right now. The next stage would be like 27,000 poison damage, which would just be awesome, and then it just goes up incredibly after that. So yeah, energy barrier is a little bit nice for when I get stunned, which I do. It just helps the recharge. It's not super important because this big old life flask here helps out quite a bit. And then last but not least, we'll do the skill tree. I'll just flash it up. Won't go into crazy depth, but we're doubling the amount of poisons on the target, so I think that puts me up to like 6 total. It's nothing crazy. I didn't want to run the snake bites. Yeah, there's snake bites. Just, yeah, it didn't feel like it. I don't think it's worth it. I'm not hitting fast enough to make use of it. This is pretty good. The poison prolif is huge, in fact, and having it for free based on the ascendancy is insane. Traveler's Wisdom, I don't know, man. Like, 6 points total is kind of decent. I mean, it helps. It's just a lot of extra damage. It's pretty much the best option. I mean, I don't need flasks gain, and speed unaffected by slows is pretty much irrelevant in most situations. And yeah, running Assault's actually pretty good, because you can see here, you just pop stuff. And if you really wanted to, you could run, what's it called, Momentum, I think. So if you travel 2 meters during the skill, you get 40% more damage. So that might be something to consider, since you can cast this while moving around. You might be able to juice it up a little bit more than me. I took Evasion starting because there's a bunch of movement speed here that I like. Combat Alchemy I think is decent because it improves a lot of flask stuff, like the mana generation actually is something that shouldn't be overlooked. Also, like if I save 10 charges on a boss fight and get lucky, then that could be huge. Just allows me to nuke a little bit more, a little faster. I covered it in yesterday's video, but chance to poison on hit, I need this on 4 jewels. It's probably better if you get it on more jewels, so that way you can drop these poison chance nodes and take duration or magnitude instead. But in any case, it doesn't matter a whole lot. You just need 40% or so from the tree. I think it's like 36% total actually, but yeah, just generic poison stuff, taking evasion where I can, increase dex here to meet the requirements for Plague Bearer. Kind of felt like I needed that. I have some extra points, so I just slapped them into magnitude. I think it's like 3 or 4 extra points, so you'll see a lot of these poison nodes are kind of full. But the important thing is taking the poison on hit, as you'll see in many different areas. And that just makes it so every hit I do poisons. I don't have to run in Venom. So I solved for poison. So Solar Orb, Flameblast, Eye of Winter, everything poisons. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Chaos Inoculation, Eternal Youth, a lot of cast speed. Yes, there it is. That's the character. It actually turned out much better than anticipated. It's pretty strong, honestly, for what it is, for everything I invested. It's I would say really strong and super fun too. An off-meta character poisoning with fire damage. I mean, come on now, that's awesome. There's a lot of great chaos and poison nodes on the tree, and so it just, I don't know, it just feels good, man. It feels good. The next character I do is going to be even more hipster, even more off-meta. It is going to be using kind of like a meta strategy. I don't want to go into it too much because I still need to snipe some gear, which could be difficult, but yeah, should be good. Should be even more damage than my last poison concoction character, and that was like 2.5 mil DPS. This one, the next one should be, I don't even know how to guess, but it's going to be a lot more. So stay tuned for that. It'll be on the horizon. Happy New Year. Hope y'all are doing well. Thanks for checking me out. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put it below. Peace out.